Okay, so I've gone back to my home screen. Exit out, I exited out of Safari. I'm back on my home screen. What I'm going to do next is iBooks and a PDF file. So I'm going to open up my iBooks app. If you notice, I have my iBooks app down here at the bottom. This is what the iBooks app looks like if you do not have your iBooks app yet. This is iBooks. I'm going to open up iBooks. I already have some books. Some of these we've read in class. Some of them we haven't. But we are currently reading, well, we finished reading The City of Ember. So I'm just going to talk about City of Ember here. We have the entire book on the iPad, and what some of the students would also do is anytime that you have a book in iBooks, you can also select the words. So if you notice, I just tapped on that word, and if I just want to know what that word sounds like, I'm going to press speak, and I can have it read to me in English, or I can have it read to me in Spanish. I'm going to go ahead and press English.
Weeks.
So it tells me weeks. So if I also want it to read the entire page, so if you notice this is chapter 4, I'm going to select the entire page here, and I'm going to have it speak to me. Now I'm not going to have it read the entire thing, but I just want you to see that I can actually read or have it read to me as opposed to just me reading on my own. So if for example, sometimes I would assign these things, a few pages for homework, and then we would discuss them in class. Some students would actually listen to it and follow along.
That day when Lina had been a messenger for several weeks, she came home to find that Granny had thrown all the cushions from the couch onto the floor, ripped up the corner of the couch's lining, and was pulling out wads of stuffing. "What are you doing?" Lina cried. Granny looked up. Wisps of sofa stuffing stuck to the front of her dress and clung to her hair. "Something is lost," she said. "I think it might be in here."
So if you noticed, it read pretty much the entire thing. Now some words it's not going to read them correctly, but for the most part it's going to read everything as if someone was reading the book to you. One thing on iBooks, if you would like to pause, so I'm going to pretend that it's reading the entire thing again to me.
On. Granny tore a big more of the covering off the couch and yanked out another puff of stuffing. "It doesn't matter,"
What I'm going to do is double tap.
"I'll put it back together later. Let's put it back now," Lina said. "I don't think what's lost
and
is in
press
there.
pause.
You don't know."
As soon as I press pause, it's going to pause the entire speech that was selected. So if I want to take a break, if I want to read something else, or I just wanted to read maybe 2 paragraphs and I don't want to read any more, or that's what you assign, then you can just go ahead and double tap. Remember, if you want to select anything on here, on iBooks, you double tap, and then you can select something else. Or you can press pause, or you can go ahead and press speak again if that's what you wanted to speak. What I'm going to show you or continue showing you is the speak selection as far as reading what's on the screen. So what I usually have is time students need accommodations, and you might find that sometimes you have to, when you provide those accommodations for some students, part of them is to read the questions and the answer choices. Sometimes you might have one student that requires those accommodations. Sometimes you might have 3 or 4 students that might require those accommodations, or even more. What I found useful for the times that I have multiple students that require those accommodations and I'm unable to work with all of them at the same time is I have a test, whatever test they're taking, I have it on my iPad, and so what I have them do is I have them put on headphones and actually listen to the questions and answer choices from the test on their iPad. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing that I have to do is I have to open up whatever PDF file that I want. What I found useful is downloading the test onto my iPad and having the students listen to the questions and answer choices on the iPad. So that's what I'm going to show you here. So I have a reading test in my Dropbox, and this is the Journeys reading test for lesson 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this PDF file. If it's a PDF file, you can open it up in iBooks. And I am going to open it up in iBooks. So here's my iBooks. Tap on that, and it's going to open that file up in my iBooks. So there it is. Now I have access to the test, which is Lesson 1, a package for Mrs. Jules. And since it's opened up in my iBooks, whatever question that I'm on, I can have it read to me. I can listen to it as many times as I want. It works the same way as a book in iBooks. It works the same way as selecting a certain paragraph in your Safari web browser. It's the exact same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you an example for the first question. I am going to select the first question. So again, I'm going to select the first question. So I'm going to press and hold there. And it might be a little tricky to grab it, but there it is. Okay. So it's going to read to me. Let me zoom in a little bit more. It's going to read the question and the answer choices to me.
What is the first important event in the 4 story? A Louis passes out balls during recess.
And if I want to make sure that I can listen and process that, I'm going to press pause. After I press pause,
A truck horn honks and disturbs the students. C. Louis starts cleaning up junk on the playground. D. Students toss pieces of paper and pencils into the schoolyard.
now that might be a little too fast for one of your students that you're having them use this for, or it might be too slow. You can always go back and change the speed of the voice. So again, if that student just wants a certain answer choice read to them, they can just read that answer choice again.
Louis passes out balls during recess.
Now, is that something that they want to select as an answer, or maybe they want to listen to a different answer choice, which is here? I'm going to press speak again here.
Louis starts cleaning up junk on the playground.
And what usually happens is when I'm working with these students, they'll usually say, okay, I'm ready to answer it on my paper test, because they have the paper right next to them. And so they listen to it on my iPad, and then they answer it on the paper.